So hello everyone, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to today's webinar that will focus on use of Resco Mobile in the field of renewables, and will offer you an insight into how we at Resco joined forces with Alectris, who is our partner, in order to provide you and our customers with a highly efficient management solution for renewable energy portfolios. Today's webinar will be delivered by Vassilis, the Managing Director of Alectris and the leader of our mobility efforts in Greece. Hello, Vassilis.
Hello, Jakub. Thanks for the introduction, and thanks to everyone for attending this.
And thank you, Vassilis. And it will be also delivered by me, Jakub. I'm responsible for Resco's activities within Southern and Eastern European region. Before we begin, just let me do a little bit of housekeeping. I just wanted to let you all know that this webinar is recorded and it will be available on our YouTube channel called Resco Developers. All of the attendees are in a listen-only mode. If you would have any questions regarding the topics that we are going to discuss today, please send them directly to me or to Vassilis, or if you have a dedicated sales rep at Resco, feel free to also reach out to them, and then we will address these questions that you have after the webinar later on. So let me start with a brief intro of Resco.net at first. With over 20 years of experience in enterprise mobility, we are one of the global leaders in developing cross-platform mobile software solutions. Today, our solutions are utilized by over 2,500 corporate customers across the globe, and this actually sums up to over 200,000 licensed mobile users. Our solutions are being utilized by users in more than 100 countries across the globe. And actually, the cornerstone of Resco's technology is our multi-experience development platform. It is composed of a powerful configuration, or you can call it customization tool, Woodford, which together with the range of enterprise mobile applications and backend components stands at the heart of all of our products and solutions. So if you're wondering what solutions I might be referring to, you can be familiar perhaps with our mobile application for sales, for filtering scenarios, or for inspections. So as much for the Resco. Now let me pass the word to Vassilis, who will introduce you to their solution and their company.
Thanks, Jakub, once again. Well, my name, as you mentioned, is Vassilis Papaeconomou. I am the Managing Director of Alectris, who's a developer of ACTIS, our software platform. I would like to start this presentation with a short introduction what really ACTIS is. And for that purpose, we have prepared this slide here. ACTIS is a software platform that provides an end-to-end solution for operational renewable energy assets for owners, O&M contractors, asset managers, so pretty much all the stakeholders in our industry. It has been developed by Alectris, and the development started more or less 10 years ago, where before actually launching even the company Alectris, we wanted to develop a tool to serve our own needs. Alectris started operations in 2012 and is one of the first third-party independent service providers originating out of Europe. This is very important, and I'm mentioning this explicitly because we're going to be talking today about a software platform that is not only about a nice interface and beautiful colors on the screen. It's a software that has been tested and used for more than 8 years, actually. And that, for people that are knowledgeable in IT, I think that makes a world of a difference in terms of usability and user-friendliness. Because of the fact, actually, that it has been used in real-life situations. So Alectris has been more or less the beta tester of ACTIS in a way. So any new feature that is being developed in the software, anything that we add, we first test with our own people in real-life situation and then do the fine-tuning before releasing to our clients. On the technical perspective, ACTIS is based on two existing platforms. One is the Microsoft Dynamics 365, which is a flagship platform from Microsoft. I guess many people or most people know about that. And Logi Analytics, which is the BI platform we use for reporting. So how does actually ACTIS add value to our customers? There are a couple of very important points I would like to mention here. First of all, ACTIS is capturing and streamlining the business processes for our clients and ourselves. This is very important because due to the fact that we based ourselves in a big part on Dynamics 365, which is very customizable, very configurable, and as probably everyone knows, business processes are always different from company to company. We wanted to have a platform that can be very flexible and can be adjusted to individual needs. That's one major, I think, key element of ACTIS. The second one is that what ACTIS actually does, it's aggregating information from all sources. Throughout the operational lifetime of an asset, there's a lot of data that are being generated, and there's a lot of sources of data. For example, monitoring or SCADA systems. We have clients that even themselves have multiple monitoring systems used in their portfolio. But also in terms of financial reporting, there are accounting systems. So there's a lot of different information, and also information from business processes themselves. So these are information that ACTIS actually gathers in one place, combines, and ultimately helps the user generate very complex reports, combining these data together. We have customers right now that are generating 20 to 25 page reports, literally with a click of a button, without the need of putting this information together, verifying this information. This is done by the system. Beyond that, also again, due to the fact that we're based on existing platforms, ACTIS provides a very easy to use user interface, very intuitive, and resembling a lot the Microsoft Office suite. So that makes users a lot easier to adopt the software, and there's minimal training needed. So what did we do with Resco at the end of the day? So when we decided to engage with Resco, we wanted to have one single app for our field engineers to cover pretty much every work that they do in the field. And that includes work orders, primarily actually work orders, but also preparing and submitting expense reports, tracking overtime, holidays, and absences. So we wanted everything that the field engineer needs to do on a day-to-day basis to be done through a single app. So to that end, what we really found useful with Resco is the seamless integration with Dynamics 365. That was very important for us. Because this integration was already in place, so we did not need to develop that. Secondly, and even probably more important than that, is the offline capabilities that Resco provides. Our assets and our customers' assets are not in city centers. They are in remote areas mostly where there's limited or no coverage. So there would not be a solution suitable that wouldn't be able to work offline, and Resco actually offers that. Thirdly, the GPS tracking functions for Resco. These are extremely helpful for us because it gives a very transparent and real-time overview of what our field engineers are doing, our customers' field engineers are doing, where they're heading, what's the next stop. So we can take quick decisions and informed decisions on a day-to-day basis, especially when emergencies arise. Of course, reporting on-site by uploading pictures through the phone camera or tablet camera is something also very important. And that serves two purposes. By having pictures integrated in the app, allows us to do very easy the reporting, to prepare the reporting to a client who always request visual evidence of what we do, but also allows for troubleshooting between field engineers and back office engineers because they see the pictures, they have a better knowledge of what's going on. On top of that, Resco is a very easy to customize tool. So we didn't spend time coding or developing, but actually configuring to serve our needs in the best way. So we focused our time in actually making it useful for our purposes and less on development per se. And one thing that we discovered actually by using and testing the tool throughout the last months is that it's a very fast and powerful tool. So synchronizing the Resco app in the field with a backend database is a matter of really a few seconds. So that was also very important, the speed of synchronization. So what actually did we realize out of testing and developing throughout the last few months? First of all, and this is extremely important for me, it's such an intuitive tool that allows for a very easy adoption by field engineers. So we have deployed that across 3 countries so far for testing, and I don't think we've spent more than half an hour with every team to show how they would do stuff on a day-to-day basis. And the next day, they actually started using that without any glitches or questions or bugs or anything of that sort. This is so important because if you have to experience difficulties on field and providing support for field engineers, it's something like a mission impossible. That's very difficult. Also because we're operating across different countries with different languages as well. Second thing is, I think we can consider the mission accomplished that we've set ourselves at the very beginning, specifically to have one device and one app where field engineers could do everything that they're required to do on a day-to-day basis. We've also seen how the real-time updates and GPS tracking work, which allows us, apart from ease of reporting, to minimize communication times, make the information exchange and data exchange extremely easy from the field directly to the back office. So we have eliminated all time-consuming activities, and these are done automatically. We have our people focusing on real work, on not just sending emails or giving phone calls. And ultimately, that allowed us to do our scheduling, our day-to-day scheduling extremely easy, just because of the fact we know where everyone is, where everyone is heading, what sites they've visited. That allows for back office engineers to be very knowledgeable in dispatching people, dispatching the right people to the right site as well. So I would be talking for hours about how our efficiencies increased with Resco. I would like, though, to use one specific example just to make it more visual to the audience. Before adopting Resco, our day-to-day process with identifying a fault on site and then sending the report to the final customer involved 9 steps. Most of them were actually done manually or almost manually. For example, downloading pictures in your PC, uploading a report, and stuff like that. After the adoption of Resco, we actually minimized this to 5 specific steps and no manual work done in between. So in essence, that translated basically to a 90% time saving for mainly for O&M managers in the back office, but also for field engineers that are working on a day-to-day field, and allows them to focus on maintenance activities and not just taking pictures and drafting reports on site. So this is just one aspect, I think the most prominent one that shows what efficiencies have been gained through the adoption of Resco. And I would like at this stage to start a live demo presentation and show you how this is actually done on a day-to-day basis, and give you some real-life situations I've prepared so that it's going to help the understanding a bit. So here you see the home screen on the Resco app and the way that we have actually configured that. That's a typical, Resco screen. Most of the Resco users probably know that already. There is the options that we give to our field engineers. On the top, you see the map. If you click on that, you basically see all the work orders of the day, the exact location. So here we are. I have put myself 3 work orders. As you see with the green balloon. So there you see the overview. And then there are several options I mentioned throughout the presentation: work orders, expenses, holidays. And today I'm going to show the work orders, which was the primary reason why we engaged on Resco. So clicking on work orders, I get the list of the work orders that have been assigned to myself. And you see different colors because they have different urgencies. One is urgent and it's noted with the red. One is a normal urgency and it's in green color. And then we have the yellow color or the orange color. So if I would click here on one work order, for example, the middle one, I get presented the form where I see the basic details. A unique ID on the top, the priority, if it's urgent or not, any instructions that were given by the control room. For example, here I am asked to check the string cables for insulation resistance. If I scroll further down, I see here scheduled start and scheduled end as given from the control room, and this is just a suggestion or an estimation. But when I arrive on site, what I need to do is I need to click on the top right and then check in the site. So what this actually does, it updates exactly the date and time I have arrived to the site. You see here actual arrival. It takes the timestamp. On the bottom, there are several options. It would take too long to show all of them, but the most important ones is the map, which is showing specifically for this work order, and I can navigate through my device map how I will actually arrive there. So this is in case I'm not aware exactly where the site is. Also, there is an option here below about spare parts. If I click on that, I can track in the work order which spare parts I actually have used to fix, a possible fault there. I have the option to insert a serial number and the quantity that has been used. Clicking on save, this is saved in the work order. I also have, by clicking the 3 dots on the bottom right, I have additional options. The first is to track overtime, but it's not the purpose of this presentation to show how this is done. But I can take notes, which means I can put text there, or I can take just pictures and upload them into the system. I can take signatures, I save them. I can take a picture like this one here, and okay, use photo. So this is then uploaded in the system and I'm done. So basically I start filling in or I continue filling in the rest of the work order I've just started. I have navigated through maps. I've put the spare parts that I have used. I've taken pictures on site, and now I need to just report back to the back office what I've actually have done on site. So no need to send an extra email or give a phone call or communicate in any other way. So I just report here in brief what I have done. And when I'm ready to leave the site, I click again on the top right, the 3 lines, and I can check out. Check out means that I've finished my job. Again here, there's a timestamp entered, actual departure, and as you can see, actually, the actual work time is just these few minutes that I'm doing this presentation. Lastly, before doing that, before closing this or completing this, I can track the distance that I have driven, kilometer or miles, and the minutes that I've needed to travel there. This is especially important for efficiency measurements, because in that way we collect all this data. We can see how many hours we're actually spending on actual work, how many hours we're spending in traveling, how many kilometers or miles this translates in traveling. So this is essential information when we're talking about measuring efficiencies and in optimizing efficiencies in the field. So clicking on save on that, I've saved all the data, and then once I'm done, I just mark complete, and the work order is complete. So what this actually does, when I go back to the home screen, I'm working now offline just to be a bit quicker in navigating. So I can synchronize all the data that I have inserted in the site. If I would be working online, I wouldn't need this step, but it's a very frequent case that the reception is not good. So most of the time people are working offline and just upload information once they're ready. If they have good reception, though, we advise them to work online, so they don't need to synchronize every few minutes. And I would like to show you how this all appears on the back end. So here, for example, are the work orders in Dynamics CRM that have been assigned to me. Okay, so here is the work order that I worked. So yeah, if I open that, I can see the information I entered directly from the Resco app on my mobile device. So here, for example, you see the actual arrival, the actual departure. You are just seeing that in the on the mobile device already. The actions that I have taken, so everything I've put there is already transmitted to the back office. And also here in notes, I can see the notes and the pictures I have entered. So if I open the picture, we will obviously see the picture I've uploaded, this red thing. So this is the way, I mean, it takes a few seconds actually to synchronize activities and data from the field into the back office. And you can imagine how much time this spares from owner managers, field engineers, calling each other, emailing each other. It's done in a few seconds without any additional effort. And this is actually the point where the 90% time saving I presented earlier comes from. So you can imagine if you had to do this manually, you have to take pictures with your cell phone, upload them on your PC, put them in the report, and that takes huge amounts of time and doesn't allow to focus on real maintenance activities, but just transferring information and transferring data from one device to the other. Another thing I would like to show you here, I mentioned very briefly throughout my presentation, is apart from the work orders, how we manage actually expenses and how that works together with Dynamics 365 and the back office. So clicking here on expenses, I can enter my expenses as they are incurred throughout the day. If I need to fill in fuel, for example, if it's a meal. So basically, it's something very simple. You have to click on the plus sign. You have the option to either enter an expense or a distance you have driven if you're reimbursed based on distance driven using your own vehicle. Then in the merchant, some information for accounting, what is the name of the merchant and the document number or the number of the receipt, for example. If there is an existing expense report, you can immediately associate that with this one, or you can basically leave it blank so you can do this later. You enter also the date here, and the total value, so let's say 200 euros or pounds or US dollars. You have to designate how this has been paid, for example, with a company card. So this is not reimbursable. and then you have to categorize this. So let's say this is for parking. You have the option to enter additional information here on the description field. And so when this is submitted back to accounting, they can already take a look at the notes that are significant for identifying this expense. Once I've done that, I can save. I can add a new picture. So, for example, what we ask our technicians is to take a picture of the receipts. So they're uploaded and sent back to accounting, and we're done. So this is how we enter the expenses on the Resco app, and I would like to show you how this actually appears on the back end. So now that I have synchronized the Resco app with my expense note, I can navigate into ACTIS and Dynamics CRM and see this listed here in my expenses in Dynamics 365. If I open that, you would see all the details and information I've entered through the Resco app, including the picture of the receipt that I've taken on the road or while being mobile. If I would like to create a expense report, then I would need to go to expense reports here and just click on new and specify here on the top the range of dates that this expense report actually relates to. And just simply save this record. It will receive automatically a name from the system, and we track also the full history of this report. So when it's been created, when it is submitted, when it is approved, and so on and so forth. So this is my expense report where I need to add my expenses that I have tracked throughout the month. And I do this simply by clicking on the plus button, selecting the expense that came through the Resco app, and just add it here and save my report. It's as simple as that. So once I'm done at the end of the month, and you see that takes only a few seconds, once I've done that, I can click on the submit button, and by clicking on that, it initiates the approval workflow that we have defined in the system. And accounting, once they're receiving all the expense reports from all the employees, they can open the expense report and download all the images that are being attached here, because in some countries there is a tax obligation to have all copies of all the receipts. So in order to make it easier for accountants not to open each expense one by one, they just can click on this button and download all the images. So this is the other functionality I talked through the presentation. It's not related directly with work orders, but also used by mobile employees on the road, being mobile while they incur expenses for fuel, for meals or whatever. They just take pictures and add information on the Resco app. And then at the end of the month, they have to create an expense report as I shown here and submit to accounting. So this is in a nutshell. There's a lot more to show, but I want to keep this really short. There's a lot of more capabilities that you've probably seen on the screen, like tracking over time, health and safety, personal protective equipment use. There's millions of other stuff that I can actually show, but this is the most basics. This is the most basic chain of information and process. Not only in Alectris, but always in our other clients, because the way of working, how you dispatch and what information you report from the field is quite common across the industry. And that helps really, really a lot to streamline operations and optimize operations as well.
Okay, so thanks again for a great solution showcase, Vassilis. It's been really enriching to see how the management of renewable energy portfolios can be streamlined using your solution and Resco Mobile. I actually wanted to ask you what was your inspiration for the customization or configuration that you have just presented? So can you please explain to us in a little bit more detail, where did this stream from?
Absolutely. As I mentioned also in the previous slides, we've been using our software for several years now, and this has been really a pain. And not just for us. I mean, with a few customers that we've talked throughout the years, that was something that was really, really needed. We've seen that a lot of customers are actually using kind of CMMS systems with apps, but they're quite isolated from all the rest of the applications that they're using in the back office. So having an app like Resco fully integrated with our solution helps achieve the purpose I've mentioned before, which is aggregating all information in one place. So the purpose there is to use one single point of collection of information, and in this case from the field, without having to refer to external apps, and fully integrated with the workflow and processes as defined in ACTIS. In this case, I showed you our own processes. Other customers may have different processes. So the motivation there is we felt the pain throughout the years, but we got exactly the same feedback from our customers. And I think it was very, very important to find a reliable solution to fill in that gap. And Resco, I think, was I'm sure, actually was the right tool to do the job.
All right, I'm really happy that you say that. Thank you for providing such a comprehensive answer. And Vassilis, if we go to the very beginning, can you please tell us how did you come across Resco in the first place? Where did you hear about us, about our enterprise solutions?
Well, honestly speaking, I told you we had this pain ourselves and our customers for a long time, and there was no easy answer. So I asked my development team, say, you have to look out for something that we can really integrate, and Resco actually had all the characteristics we're looking for: seamless integration with Dynamics, offline capabilities. So it was all there. So the team did a very extensive research on the internet and solutions that are widely known. And I can tell you that what we found out, Resco is by far the best, at least for our purposes.
Yeah, this is actually information we hear a lot from our partners and customers, especially in connection to Dynamics. So I definitely agree with that. And if I may have just one last question, looking into your business focus, how would mobility fall within your strategy, and why going specifically with Resco's mobile solution?
Well, mobility is a fundamental and essential part of our business. What we're doing and our customers are doing, they're managing their operating assets. These assets are spread geographically everywhere. And I'm not talking about a single country. We're talking about continents, and customers in the meantime have portfolios in multiple continents as well. So you understand that mobility is a key element, especially if you want to centralize data and have a central management, a central control. It's absolutely essential. So the geographical distribution of our services, which are not based only in the office, most of them are actually based out in the field. Mobility is a key element, and this is an important aspect of our business. And I can tell you, not on theory, but throughout the months that we've been using that and testing that in real life, it has been a lifesaver for us, and I think also for our customers.
That's very interesting to hear. I believe that your customers can definitely take advantage of cooperation between Resco and Alectris, and we are looking forward to delivering even more value, strengthening our cooperation, and getting the solutions out there. So let me thank you for all the great insights you have delivered today. It's been really enriching for us to see and hear how you are approaching the renewable energy portfolio management. And I also am happy to see how dedicated partners like you, Alectris, can really make a difference for the customer operating within the industry. So I would also like to thank to all of the attendees for your attention today. If you would have any questions, please refer them to me, to Vassilis, whose email address you can see on your screens, or even to your dedicated sales reps in Resco. You can see the list on your screens right now as well. And yeah, I would say have a great rest of the day and talk to you later.
Thanks, Jakub. Thanks to everyone attending this presentation.